Hello, everyone, and welcome to another interview in our series for the Law Marketing Zone Group. I'm very excited to welcome Nancy Delain from Delain Law Office in Schenectady, New York, with us today. She's going to share some great experiences with us. Thank you. It's so excited to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about maybe how you started your journey. Can you share with us where you started, where you are, and where you're planning to go?
Sure. Where I started many years ago, okay? And I came late in life to being a lawyer. I graduated from law school when I was like 47 years old, 48, somewhere in there. And that was back in 2004. And so or 2003, I graduated from law school, took the bar, passed the bar, took the patent bar, passed the patent bar. And that is my key thing in marketing is niche, 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 niche. Okay.
Okay.
I have a niche that not everybody does. Not everybody is eligible to even sit for the patent bar. And those who are eligible to sit for the patent bar very often don't want to, and I don't blame them. Okay. It's a pain in the butt test. And but as a brand new lawyer, I started off. I graduated from law school, passed the bar, got admitted, and hung out a shingle. I never went to work for a big firm because I had been working in my prior life for large companies, and I know that I don't want to do that. I
Mm,
just plain don't want to do that. If I can do it for them, I can do it for me, honey. so,
that's right. And keep
so
your piece of the pie.
well, yeah, I get a bigger piece of the pie, and I also get the satisfaction of being the boss. I don't have to answer to anybody. I don't have to schedule a vacation. I don't have to, all that stuff that that large companies and big firms put you through that I don't have to deal with because hey, guess what? It's just me and my cats. Um, and it's not the life for everybody, that's for sure, but it certainly is for me. Um, niche, 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 and figure out what you want to do. You know,
Excellent. So did you
um,
make your decision about doing the IP, or the patent stuff while you were in law school or before? When did that come to your beginning?
long
Okay.
before, when way back I'm going to date myself, back in the early 1980s, I worked for a publishing house. And this was back in the days when floppy disks were actually floppy. I was the computer science editor, and we wanted to do a book that had a floppy disk component to it. But we didn't want people putting putting our floppy disk into drive A and a blank floppy disk into drive B and writing copy A colon B colon, which
Mhm.
was very easy to do back in those days. Um, it was up to me as the computer science editor to work with the copyright lawyer to come up with a killer copyright statement to try and deter people from doing copy A colon B colon, and it was fun. I had a good time, and I think the lawyer had a good time too. We kind of clicked and hit it off, and it was interesting. It was fun. It was something different. And then I saw the check we wrote her, and I was like, "Damn, I'm in the wrong business. I'm in the wrong business." So that was really the start of my interest in intellectual property law. And then life happened, and I got married and had a kid and got divorced and kept the kid. And while I was getting divorced, I thought to myself, it's time to either do this or not. And I knew that I didn't want to do what I was a tech writer in my former life. And I knew I didn't want to keep being just a tech writer for forevermore.
Mhm.
And I knew that the skill set in technical writing is something that can be easily transferred into legal writing, but regardless of the form of legal writing, whether it's an appellate brief or a patent application, it doesn't matter. It's that this particular skill set can go anywhere. I had the skill set, and I could take it. And this is Lucy, by the way. Um, and Lucy must be on every Zoom interview I do.
Hi, Lucy.
And I could take that skill set and just transfer it to legal writing and patent documentation. I had the undergraduate background for this to sit for the patent bar, and I knew it. So that's I thought to myself, all right, intellectual property lawyers, A, do okay for themselves. B, not everybody does this. So and while I was first in law school, I was still debating whether or not to go out on my own or do a firm or whatever. B, if I do end up going off by myself, it's not something that everybody else does.
Right.
Okay. Anybody can close a real estate deal. Anybody can do a divorce. Anybody can do write a will, and all that kind of fun stuff. But patent law, you have to have the requisite technical background in order to even sit for the freaking exam.
Okay.
And not all lawyers do. So and I knew that I didn't want to spend my life writing wills and doing divorces and certainly not handling criminal matters. No, thank you. And you know, uh, real estate is fun, but it doesn't really appeal. So it was just one of these things where intellectual property was, it was a pretty straight path for me to get from that job with the publishing house where I interacted with the IP lawyer to being an IP lawyer myself. It was a pretty straight path.
It sounds like everything fell into place for you. You found something you enjoyed. You knew you were going to niche down, so you pursued that and hung out your shingle, and you're doing really well. Tell me, I mean, that's like, getting the wish on a star. That sounds perfect. So tell me how you've transitioned or what's happened during the pandemic and what you're keeping.
Is there anything in my business that I have changed because of the pandemic? Absolutely. The pandemic has caused me to go entirely virtual. Before the pandemic, I had a physical office. I had a commute. I drove with all those other silly people on the road. I don't do that anymore. I work out of my house. My desk is 10 feet from my bedroom. So my commute has gone from 12 miles to 10 feet, which is absolutely wonderful. I don't like driving in the morning with all the other fools on the road. And never have liked driving in the morning with all the other fools on the road. So, and I also meet clients virtually much, much, much more often than I do in real life. And I will actually campaign with a client to say, look, this really is a better way to do it. And there are people out there who still haven't done a Zoom meeting. Okay. It's been what, a year and a half?
Yeah.
And I say, okay, this really is a better way to do it because number one, you don't have to go anywhere. It doesn't cost you gas money. All you have to do is download a little app. Okay.
That's right.
Number two, we neither of us runs any risk whatsoever of sharing COVID with each other or anything else for that matter. I don't want to get your bad cold either.
Yeah.
And
Surely it's reduced your
number three,
expenses.
it certainly reduces expenses. And if some client, and I had one a couple of days ago who absolutely had to meet in person, and I'm like, all right, I will meet you in person, but nobody comes to my house because that's my house.
Mhm.
And so I'll meet you in a restaurant somewhere. And he was like, fine. But now I've got an engagement letter out to this guy, and we'll see what happens because I sent it on DocuSign, and we'll see if he figures out how to sign a DocuSign document.
Have you expanded in
And,
reach as well? So are you
oh, absolutely. I now have a client that I would never have had before the pandemic. This client's in Dubai.
okay?
Okay,
Excellent.
so and I'm meeting with people that I would never have met before. All over the world, whether they're, a lot of people in India, a lot of people in Malaysia,
Mhm.
and those are for the most part other IP lawyers who are looking to meet somebody in the United States, which is fine. Eventually the business may or may not come from them. We'll see. Either way, it's lovely to meet them, and it's a I have found that Zoom has vastly expanded my outreach. Here's Lucy again.
Mhm.
And move it loose. I'm in the middle of something. Come on, off you go. Off. Thank you.
Well, with the expanded reach, what are you doing as far as marketing to get your name out there more for the person in Dubai, Malaysia? How are people finding you?
The guy in Dubai found me through BNI. So I've joined BNI pretty much immediately, like 3 or 4 weeks before the lockdown hit.
Mhm.
And I've been leveraging that like crazy,
Okay.
and getting a fair amount of business through that. I am just now, and I should have done it probably years ago, starting a campaign where I join Facebook and LinkedIn groups and actually post post value. I'm not there to say, come to Delain Law Office, give me a call. No, 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 no. I'm not going to be a TV lawyer advertising. Okay. I'm
Right.
going to say, this is what a patent is. This is what it does for you. And then from the questions, that's when I can say, well, we really need to set up a time to talk. And, here's the, yeah, I'll direct message you a link to my calendar if you'd like. By the way, there's a fee.
Yeah.
And,
Well, that's
and,
good. I mean, finding your target audience and providing value first. Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay.
So
So
that's pretty much what I'm doing.
what my other question was, what technologies can you not live without? What are critical to your firm? And clearly Zoom is one of those.
Zoom. I cannot live without Zoom. I cannot live without Zoom right now. And that was not true before the pandemic. I did just fine without Zoom until the pandemic hit. But now I absolutely need Zoom. And in terms of CRMs, I go back and forth. Right now I do it with QuickBooks, and I couldn't live without QuickBooks, by the way.
Okay.
But I do a lot of client management with QuickBooks because I don't have a book of business that's 10 million people
Okay. So that works out well for you.
need it works out well for me. Yeah.
Okay, great. So thinking about where you are now, what does the
Yeah.
future hold for your firm?
So yeah. Hopefully growth. Keep plugging along in what I'm doing, and look to meet as many people as I can, and not just potential clients. Okay. I have to go out and actually talk with people. Okay. And it doesn't have to be about patents or trademarks or copy. It can be about cats, for heaven's sakes. Or I'm learning to fly an airplane. It could be about airplanes. It can be about something that somebody else is interested in. That's actually the best thing to talk about, is something that somebody else is interested in. But to go out and get a feel for the human beings who are behind the clients. Okay. I can show you a list of clients that's X hundred people long, and I can tell you something about each and every person on that list. Um, because that's where I shine, is learning about the people that I'm dealing with, and kind of learning where their hot spots are and trying to cool those hot spots down, and going from there.
The personal touch. I love it. This has been fantastic. I knowing your journey has been, you've dropped some great nuggets here today of how you handle things. And the outreach and what's changed in the pandemic. If you wanted to have a chat with you, learn more about it, just connect with you and network with you, would it be okay if they message you? They can reach you through the group.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, great. Any
Or alternatively, if you look carefully at my here, my Zoom image, you'll see that it's Nancy Delain, IPattorneyfirm.com. Go visit the website,
There you go.
and that can put you in touch as well.
Okay, that sounds fantastic. Well, thank you so much. This has been great, and thank you everybody for watching. Thanks for your time. It's been so entertaining, and to understand your journey, it just sounds fabulous. And thanks, Lucy, for joining us there for a couple of minutes.
Lucy must supervise.
Exactly. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you on the next interview. Have a great day.
Okay.